Hello, this is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. I'm so glad that you're here today. I have a beautiful sweet card from Picket Fence Studio. So these are some of the products from their latest release. And I just love these little bunnies. They are so cute. And for the first time, I am using one of their word topper dies, which I think are so inventive. So these are some of the products I'm going to be using today from them. So this is the Endless Clouds stamp. It's a background stamp, a smaller one. This is the Taller Hello Word Topper die. This is the one that I'm going to use as my main focal point. And they have several of these dies. And as always, I'll have everything linked below so you can check out the website and what they have. This is Chloe's Garden, and these little bunnies are so adorable. So what I'm showing you here is, especially with some smaller stamp sets like this, I like to just take the whole thing, tape it to my MISTI, and then I used, in this case I used my Picket Fence Black Hybrid ink pad, and I just stamped out the entire stamp set. So I didn't take any of the stamps off, I just stamped out the whole thing, and here you can see I'm removing the purple tape that I used. And it just makes it easier, and you're going to see in this card, I did color up off screen some of the characters I knew I wanted to use, which I had showed you previously. But I'm actually going to end up coloring a few more. And what was nice is I already had them stamped out. I didn't have to go get the stamp set back out. I already had them. All I had to do was color them. This I'm not going to use in the video, but I wanted to show you this. I love these. These are the Misshapen stitch circles. They are so fun. And you can make a great shaker card using two of the sequin sets that I got. So one of them is Bunny Express, and then this one is Carrot Patch, and I love these carrots. And the shaker mixes you're going to see here in a moment, I love the containers. This is the first time I had purchased any type of shakers from Picket Fence, and love the containers that they come in. So let's get started with the card. For the card, the first thing I'm going to do is put a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock into my MISTI. And you can see the size of the Endless Clouds. I don't have the exact dimensions. It's on the website, but this is a smaller background stamp. And I really like the size of it. It's kind of like if you saw my previous video, I was really enjoying the smaller size of the Airly Creative stencil. I think sometimes it's kind of cool to be creative with some of these different sized products. So I am inking up my stamp set with Tumbled Glass Oxide. And there's one little area that I just could not get to impress very well. So what I'm using is a small Ranger detail brush. These have been out for a long time. Many companies now have these small detail brushes. This one is my favorite for this type of technique. So to fill that little cloud area in, what I'm doing is I am just using that little detail brush, putting it directly onto the stamp pad, and then also taking it directly to the paper. I'm just using a dry cloth to clean off my stamp set. And what I decided to do was to just put a little bit of purple tape behind it and re-ink that up. I didn't want to ink up the entire thing, so where I put that purple tape to kind of lift it up a little bit, I am just applying a small amount of the tumbled glass. And I'm using my Debby tool to push that down really well. And it just would not give me a good impression. So I just kept right at it. I was determined I was going to get this cloud here. And I did at one point, I don't think it's in the video, but I did take my hello and set it down because I thought, man, if I'm doing all of this and my hello is going to pretty much completely cover this. And it does cover a majority of it. But the other thing is I realized that, you know, clouds aren't perfect. If it has a little break in it, that's fine. That's what clouds look like. So it's not a big deal. So I'm going to move my stamp, and I want to show you this lines up so easily. And I'm going to actually lift up my MISTI and show you how easy this lines up. I'm going to rotate my paper just to make sure I can get the whole thing on there. And this is the original size MISTI also, by the way. It is the newer MISTI, but it is the original size. It's not the mini. And having some fun with my magnets. So here I'm showing you, you can see, it's kind of hard on the video, but you can see that they line up so easily. It was very simple to line these up and make that continuous clouds across the whole front of my card. I had originally inked this up, did some ink blending with the Tumbled glass, and then I was going to put the clouds over it darker, and I just really didn't like that. I decided to leave it white and then just add the clouds like I did here. So I have used my dies and die cut out these adorable little images, and I love that their eyes are closed, like for her, and their little mouths. I think also these would be great to use even like at Christmas, like they're singing, or I love this little stamp set, and his ears just won me over. And I've got the little snails and the little bird, which I wasn't able to cut out at the same time because of his ears. And also, if you notice, one of the things I really like about Picket Fence dies is the fact that they aren't connected, so you don't need wire snips, and you can kind of see there next to my hand, they're all separated. Look at this little snail. They are just so cute. And there are dies for all these teeny tiny little little images in the set. So this is the hello, and I originally, this card, oh, you're going to see her in a moment. This card, I went back and forth on so many things. There are things that went on this card and got taken off this card. I originally had thought about using the Lawn Fawn sunflower and doing it yellow, and then I decided to change it to green. So that's why you see kind of both of those there. And there you have a better view of the die set. You can see there's no clipping. When I am in the middle of a card, what I do is I have those little containers. I actually bought them for my desk at work, and I brought some of them home, and I just dump my dies in there, my loose dies, and then after I'm done, I go back in just to make sure I don't lose any of those. So back to my tall hello. As I said, originally was going to do the sunflower, and then I decided I wanted it green. So I'm using the Lawn Fawn Cilantro, and I'm just using the new small fine tip bottles from Gina K Connect. I love the Connect glue, but I'm going to be honest with you, those little glue tubes that like Gina K has and Lawn Fawn, all that, those things drive me crazy. And it seems like they don't last very long. And so when she came out with the bigger bottle, I was very excited. So I got the bigger bottle and these fine tip. I love it. It has not clogged up on me yet. So if you get frustrated with glue as I did, this is a great option. And I decided to go ahead and keep the two yellows, and it just gave me some dimension, or keep the yellow one, and it gave me some dimension for my card because I did want the bunnies kind of popped up. So it worked out in the end. And you can see a little bit of a yellow shadow around it, which is kind of nice. I'm sorry I'm off screen. I was just making sure I had the letters lined up. And I'm just putting something heavy on there. And this is the carrot patch. And I'm going to add one of the clay carrots, and then I'm going to remove it. And I'm going to add some tulips, and then I'm going to remove them. So you're going to see this card change throughout the video. So at this time, I'm just kind of laying out my little figures. I already knew in my head, and I had sketched out kind of where I wanted everything. And as soon as I saw this tall hello and these bunnies, even before I ordered it, this card sketch was in my head. So I knew immediately how I wanted to do this. It's just kind of getting the placement. So I have these little snails. And the other thing I love about this Chloe's Garden stamp set is the birds and the snails. You get two of them and they're going in different directions, which I think is really cool. And it's a really thought out stamp set. I really like this small stamp set. So I'm just placing down the little snails. And I thought originally I'd have my bluebird kind of sitting on top of the H, but then I realized that I didn't like all the empty space up top. So I thought I'd put him up there and like he's kind of flying off. And you can see I took that little carrot and added it to right beside my little boy bunny. And I have those little green dots you can see at the top. That's more the little clay pieces, because I thought maybe I'd spread those out in the top like confetti. And I decided I didn't like that before I even got them glued down. So I'm going to kind of brush those off the card. And I'm just adding some dimension with some foam squares to our little girl. I just love her little flower in her hair. And these bunnies, their big floppy ears. They are just adorable. The artist did such an amazing job on this set. And if you are not great at coloring, or coloring is not one of your favorite things, which happens to be me, this is a great set. They're images that are large enough, to take up a lot of space on a card, but they were very, very simple to color. So there you can see I'm just kind of laying out those clay pieces, and then I decided, yeah, no, I don't want that. So I'm kind of looking to see, and I decided that I wanted some type of sentiment up in the top. Now, Picket Fence does have these awesome sentiments that will fit right on the bottom underneath the hello in that open space. I do not have any of those, but they do. I think they have 2 or 3 sets now. So check those out. And they also have multiple words with the word toppers. And these make very, very simple cards. You can make a card very quickly using, I guess I should have said quick cards instead of simple, but they make them, it's very quick to use. So once again, because I stamped out that entire stamp set, I had the sentiment that came with that stamp set, which says, let's plant flowers and watch them grow. So now I'm just kind of figuring out placement, and I decided to move it over to the left, and then I'm going to add another bird. So this is where I decided, this is where I wasted a lot of time, but hey, this is the creative process. I decided that I wanted to add maybe some little flowers because that sentiment talks about planting flowers. I thought maybe I'll put some little flowers around it or down in the bottom. And I actually got these glued on, and you can see there the tulips on the bottom. Didn't like it. More I looked at it, and so they're going to get taken off, and I had glued them down. So what I'm going to do to fix that, and I'm actually coloring up that second bird here, but what I'm going to do to fix where I'm going to rip my paper is I die cut out another hello, and then I just cut, because I already had some other things glued to that, like his little ears, the snails, and I didn't want to mess with that. So what I did is I just cut the hello off, and then I added another, just the bottom part. So there's actually 2 cilantro strips on the bottom. You'll also notice I pulled that carrot off, and I colored up the little watering can and decided to put that there. And I didn't mind the carrot, but I love this watering can here so much better. And I think this is what makes card making fun and also frustrating is, we kind of get to where in the middle of that process of what can I add to this? And then at some point, I always go back to less. And it's, you just take it off, and, the recipient will never know that I had tulips and a carrot and all kinds of other stuff on here. And I love the way it came out in the end. And that's what's important. Do you like the end product? Does it make you smile? Do you think it'll brighten somebody's day? And that's what handmade cards are all about. So I am just putting down that little watering can, which is so cute. And I just colored that up with some cool Copic markers. And I'm kind of off screen a little bit here right now. There we go. And I did do the heart the same pink color as her little flower. And there you go. There you can see the finished card. And this card I just think is so sweet. I'm so excited to send it to the recipient. I hope that you enjoyed this crazy creative process that I went through on this card, and I really encourage you to check out the Picket Fence products. They have some amazing products and so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I hope that you'll consider subscribing, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. Thank you and have a great day.